Here we go.
What?
Check it out. It's Mr. Santa Claus.
Actually, that's a German artist.
Albrecht Durer.
Durer.
Man, look at that robe.
Right.
Check out this guy over here. He's got a really cool looking, coat and is it Moses?
Anyway, so the people at that time, when they have like big bellies, represented in big bellies in a coat, that's a symbol of wealth, very prominent in the Northern Renaissance, which refers to Germany as being the Northern Renaissance and Italy being like the Renaissance. And so Durer is compared to Da Vinci, so he's basically the German Da Vinci. Oh, he's known for etching. He started the whole etching trend, wood carvings and lithography, those kinds of things.
Wait,
So woodcuts.
is Durer the inventor of Etch-a-Sketch then? Here we go. Check it out. A real artist hat. What is that?
That's his pose.
Oh,
Yeah, good old Rembrandt.
what's he doing?
Well, it's quite interesting that he's posed that way because in his time, he's actually known for his bombing selfies in his paintings. And that's where you have the term Rembrandt smile, like the way people smile, because the way he smiled in his paintings is very uncommon. In fact, he was the first to modernize facial expressions in a time when people had a very standard way of posing in his paintings. Rembrandt broke that, and that's what made him famous.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So he invented the duck face.
Sort of, he had various expressions or surprise or his cheeky smile.
Can you do a Rembrandt smile? What is that?
That's my smile.
All right, on to the next one. So what's up with Ruben?
Well, he's a Flemish artist,
Flemish.
known for following the Baroque tradition, meaning that he painted theatrical poses in his paintings.
Oh.
And also alluding to like mythology.
Hey, Miguel.
Yeah.
Just want to say, you know what my favorite sandwich is?
Let me guess. It's the
A grilled
Rubens.
cheese sandwich.
Oh. That was gonna be the Rubens sandwich because. So how do you feel about mythological paintings in general?
I think they're fun. It kind of gives it a nice like visual representation of what it might have been in the past that never existed.
So how do you feel about like there's always that one student in class who keeps doing the same joke over and over as if he thinks he's so funny? So that's basically what the Baroque period is. It's like, hey guys, hey, remember all these mythological stuff? Keeps coming back every period. From the Renaissance to Baroque to modern to Romanticism. And that's what Peter Paul Rubens is. He's just the one of those artists who thinks he's so cool because he goes against the grain. Yeah, mythology.
Sounds like you got beef with this guy.
Oh yeah, it's just, you see one, you see them all. Meanwhile, Van Gogh is doing some amazing stuff with Impressionism and Japanese paintings. But hey man, mythology, how about that? Yeah, that's Rubens. As you always say, on with the next one.
Let's go. Ah, finally, seat.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
Oh, smile.
All right, so what do we have here? I need to double check.
What? Someone photobomb our picture?
Murillo.
Who could it be?
Oh, I don't even actually know who Murillo is. Murillo is a Spanish Baroque painter, another Baroque painter, known for his religious works. So at least we're driving away from mythology and into Christian paintings, which is very prominent in Spain at the time. They are a culture that always traces back to their Christian roots. So you're going to see a lot of religious paintings, even in Baroque. And they find their way to try to act edgy, like, hey man, theatrical poses. So Murillo is basically one of those Baroque painters, but in Spain. Nothing new. So how do you feel about?
I literally have no opinion because I've never heard of this guy.
Well, you really shouldn't, because there's really nothing new with like Baroque paintings in Spain, except a century later you're going to have other refreshingly new artists that did a lot of anti-colonial work, such as Francisco Goya, Diego Velázquez. But who cares about this guy? Because it's the same thing. So yeah. So on with the. Next one?
You know someone who reminds me of you?
What?
Leonardo da Vinci. You know why?
Why?
Because just like you never really finish anything. You start a lot of sketch work, and you start a lot of paintings that you never finish, and you draw a lot of girls, so.
Burn. But jokes aside, finally, someone worth mentioning. We all know Da Vinci, very popular in Italy. Finally, someone worth mentioning besides Baroque, the one and only OG of the Renaissance, Da Vinci. So there's a lot to have been said about him in movies, documentaries, media, but what most people don't know that he's very weird. And what I mean weird is that his writings are very abstract. No one really knows what he believes in, why he even does art. Because besides painting, he studied biology and anatomy and engineering.
Yeah.
And is quite a math whiz.
Wow. What an overachiever.
Yeah, he's quite the overachiever.
Set that standard, you know.
His name has become synonymous with like artistic stereotypes who are like the mad genius. You know, people think you're crazy, but you were right this whole time.
He even wrote the whole series of Da Vinci Code, right?
So, anywho, what's really interesting about Da Vinci is that there's this often misunderstood feud between him and Michelangelo. What I think is quite worth mentioning is that while they are rivals, but it's not for the reasons you would suspect. So Da Vinci believes that painting is truly superior, to the point where it drove Michelangelo mad, because Michelangelo is more of a sculptor. So another thing that people don't know, like, oh, you know, why would Michelangelo consider himself a sculptor when he did all these paintings? Well, just like in today's world, sometimes your passions don't align with your profession. So Michelangelo was commissioned to do these paintings in the same way that Da Vinci was commissioned to do all these religious paintings, unlike the Baroque. So Da Vinci himself prefers mathematical things, number games, studying the human anatomy, inventing weird things under his basement. So that's what I like about Da Vinci.
So basically, Da Vinci was an overachiever, nerdy, popular guy.
Who never finishes works. Yeah, I get it.
All right, on to the next one.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's our favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Raphael.
Yes, indeed. Along with Michelangelo and Donatello, and I don't know who the other one is. Raphael is one of the Renaissance artists, and his style is quite unique, and that is why people who study under him and follow in his principles of paintings are known as Raphaelites. There's also the pre-Raphaelites, who are kind of similar but went before him, and then there's Neo-Raphaelites, which came a couple centuries later. So that's what Raphael is known for. If you're looking for line work, looking at Raphael paintings would be a nice inspiration for working on compositions. Kind of flat. That's my only critique with his paintings. It's pretty flat. You know, he focuses too much on line work that he doesn't get that shapes. But anyway, that's my critique. That's my critique on Raphael.
Yes, he created shapes. All right, well, this was our sort of last statue at the Botanical Gardens. Just kidding, there's another one, so come along.
Okay, so here we are in the last statue, and I honestly have no idea whether they wrote Angelo on there as in Michelangelo or some person who looks like him with the name Angelo. But regardless, fun facts, Michelangelo went blind after painting for so long, painting the Sistine Chapel. It kind of ruined his eyesight in a way. Yeah, he went blind.
You think, you know, he'd be blessed to have his sight back?
Well, you know what they say, the best art comes from the most agonizing life. In fact, there is a biopic movie about him called Agony and Ecstasy, an American-Italian production about the life of Michelangelo. My most favorite piece is the Pieta that he sculpted, which is Mother Mary carrying Christ, Jesus, in her arms. And they say that the face of Mary is based on the face of Michelangelo's mother.
Whoa.
So, yeah, pretty heavy, sad stuff. Nothing to joke about. Well, I hope you enjoyed our random musings about these artists, Western artists, right here in the Botanical Gardens. And I have to say, I'm very impressed with sculpting, at least. I think it's quite important to note that art is indeed subjective. So regardless of what my opinions are, you are free to explore and discover what really inspires you. even if it's just a bunch of Baroque mythological paintings that I'm frankly tired of. Come on. I
Okay.
mean, centuries of
Who
the same
hurt
thing.
you this time, man? But gotta admire. A lot of these statues were pretty on fleek. You know, got that.
Yeah, I'm
Got
impressed.
that painter posing. So come
Yeah.
check it out, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.